Hi, this is David with Best Rest Products. Today we're going to be talking about the Cycle Pump EZAir Tire Gauge. This is a rather unique gauge because it reads in both PSI and BAR. So depending upon what standard you're using, European or US PSI, it's got a dual graduated dial. 1.5-inch round dial. These gauges are calibrated to be within 2% of the range of the gauge. Alright, there is a locking air chuck on each gauge. It's the same one that you find on our cycle pump. This gauge can be used by itself, but it can also be used as an inline gauge with the cycle pump or another air source. That's made possible because there's an input port right here. This is really like the threaded valve stem you find on your tire. So if I needed to add air through the gauge, I would simply take my cycle pump, I would connect it to the side of the gauge, and I would fill through the gauge. As I do that, I am monitoring pressure as it builds. I can actually watch the pressure increase. Now we make two types of EZAir gauges. We have the style with the straight air chuck, and we have a new style with a right angle air chuck. That's the same right angle chuck that we sell separately. This right angle chuck has the same locking lever, but the air hose comes off to the side, as opposed to the standard EZAir gauge, which comes in straight. Let me show you the distinction between these two styles. On your standard EZAir gauge, if I was to attach to this tire, I might have problems fitting between the brake rotor and the valve stem of the tire. Well, I showed before the easy trick is to drop it down through the rotor and then come straight down onto the valve stem. Now I have a pressure reading. Or, if I use the right angle EZAir gauge, it's much easier. I simply reach underneath, come straight down onto the valve stem, and there I have the pressure reading. So whichever one you choose, this makes it much easier to monitor your tire pressure and to increase your pressure should you need to by simply filling through the gauge. Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the trail.